Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. This is Phil. Today we are going to explore the entire lineup of the Kawasaki motorcycles for 2023 models. Let's get started. Alright, so Kawasaki. Last time we did Honda. And I forgot to, I don't know that I mentioned this with the Hondas, but I actually, after I did the Indian lineup, I was going to do the Harley Davidsons next. But it would appear that Harley Davidson is either Johnny come lately or behind the eight ball or something when it comes to the 2023 models, because they don't have them up yet on their website. There's actually been some conjecture as to what they're adding or dropping. It seems to be official. They're probably dropping the Sportster, the old school Sportster models, but they actually haven't updated their website. Everything on their website is still 2022. So keep watching that. I'm going to do a lineup for the Harleys as soon as I can when I see the website change to give us so that we know what's up for 2023, and I will get that to y'all as soon as I can. Meanwhile, today we are going to look at Kawasaki. This is the next in line as far as the big four of the Jap bikes. And they have a lot of different models out here. Very few that they've dropped. Only a couple they've dropped and one that they've added for 2023. There's a ton of different models, so we're going to kind of cruise through these. No pun intended. And see what we find out. It'd be interesting to compare some of these models to the Hondas to see how they rank in price and stuff like that. So anyway, let's get started in Kawasaki like we did with the Honda. Let's get started with the off-road motocross. Off-road motocross. We start with the Youth, and this is a Youth KX 65. Now you'll notice the motorcycles all have kind of their own colors. So Honda's was red, Kawasaki is green. So anyway, we start with the Youth KX65, 64cc, two-stroke engine. Interesting to note, all the Honda Youth off-road bikes were all still four-stroke engines. Anyway, Kawasaki 64cc, two-stroke engine, 6-speed, 30-inch seat height. 132 pounds, 1 gallon tank starting at 4,000. That's a heck of a lot more than Honda's 1,700, if I remember correctly. Alright, next up we have the Youth KX85, 84cc, two-stroke engine, 6-speed, 32.7-inch seat height, 165 pounds, 1.3 gallon tank, starting at 4,700. Continuing on with the Youth, we have a KX112, 112cc two-stroke engine, 6-speed, 34-inch seat height, 170 pound, 1.3 gallon tank, starting at 5,400. Alright, moving on to the regular size or adult bikes. KX250, a 250cc four-stroke engine now, with 5-speed, 38-inch seat height, 238 pounds, 1.6 gallon tank, starting at 8,500. And then a KX450, we have a 450cc, four-stroke engine, 5-speed, 37.5-inch seat height, 243 pound, 1.6 gallon tank, starting at 9,600. And then a second version of that, we have the KX450SR, stands for Special Racer, for an additional 3,100, making that one 12,700. That one has some different upgrades in as far as the body and exhaust and different things like that. I don't know all the details, but has some different upgrades as far as making that a much more competitive racer bike. Alright, the other two off-roaders, we have the Cross Country KX250X. This is a 250cc 5-speed, 37-inch seat height, 240 pound, 1.6 gallon tank, starting at 8,600. Cross Country KX450X. We have the 450cc 5-speed, 37.5-inch seat height, 245 pounds, starting at 9,800. So not too much different other than the engine size on those. Incidentally, similar to what we had with Honda, we have very few, if any, specs as far as horsepower. I don't think we have any horsepower on the Kawasaki's. We do have some torque on them. On some of them do list their torque. Most of them do not, but if they have a torque, I will give it to you. And again, I did not go look for all of the HP and torque on all of these bikes, because that would have taken a really long time. Okay, moving on. Still on the off-road. These are just regular off-roaders. We have the 110, we're now in the KLX model, the KLX 110R. We have 112cc single-cylinder engine, 4-speed, carbureted engine, 27-inch seat height, 168 pounds, 1-gallon tank starting at $26.50. And then you can have the 110RL, which gives you an additional 2-inch seat height for $200 more. All right, next we have the KLX 140R. This is a 144cc single-cylinder, 5-speed, 31-inch seat height, 205 pounds, 1.5-gallon tank starting at $34.50. And the 140RL gives an additional 3/4 of an inch of seat height for an extra $300. Now, I don't know if there's anything else in there that's different than the regular 140R other than that 3/4 inch of seat height, because $300 is a lot to pay for 3/4 of an inch of extra seat height and ground clearance. But anywho, now we have the KLX 230R off-road, 233cc single-cylinder engine, 6-speed, 36-inch seat height, 260-pound, 1.7-gallon tank starting at $47.50. And then the KLX 230RS actually has a 1-inch lower seat height for the same price. So let me get this straight, Kawasaki. If you want an extra 2 inches of seat height on the 110 or a 3/4 inch seat height on the 140, you got to pay more for it. But if you want a lower seat height on the 230, which is the 230RS, it's actually the same price as the regular 230R. Got it. All right, we have the KLX 300R, 292cc single-cylinder, 6-speed, 35.4-inch seat height, 285 pounds. I feel like I sound like an auctioneer. 2.1-gallon tank starting at $5,900. And now we move on to the dual sports. All right, we have two different versions of the dual sports. We have the KLX first, since that was what we're on, we'll start there. We have the KLX 230, again 233cc engine, 6-speed, 35-inch seat height, 290-pound, 2-gallon tank starting at $5,000. And then the KLX 230S has a 2-inch lower seat height for the same price. And the 230 SE is one of the bikes that has been discontinued. So the KLX 230 SE, whatever was special about that one, it no longer has a 2023 version. All right, the dual sport KLX 300, 292cc, 6-speed, 35-inch seat height, 302 pounds, 2-gallon tank starting at $5,900. And then we have the KLR Dual Sport, which is a KLR 650. It is a 652cc single-cylinder, still 5-speed. This one has 39 foot-pounds of torque, 34-inch seat height, 458 pounds, 6-gallon tank. Whoa, that's a big one. Starting at $6,900. Going back to the KLX, we now have the Supermotos. Brand new for 2023. The one new bike that Kawasaki is putting out for 2023 is a Supermoto 230 SM, KLX 230 SM, 233cc single-cylinder engine, 6-speed, 33-inch seat height, 296 pounds, 2-gallon tank starting at $5,300. And then the already in existence KLX 300 Supermoto 292cc single-cylinder 6-speed 34-inch seat height, 304 pounds, 2-gallon tank starting at $6,300. Okay, so that takes care of the dual sports. the off-roads, the supermotos, the motocross, and cross-country. Alright, so now let's go to the adventure touring, the Versus models. Alright, so we have the Versus X300, which is a parallel twin, 296cc, 32-inch seat height, 385 pounds, 4.5 gallon tank, starting at 5,900 with 19 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, and then the Versus 650, I've heard that one a lot. Seems to be kind of popular. Parallel twin, 650cc, 33-inch seat height, 483 pounds, 5.5 gallon tank, 47 foot-pounds of torque, starting at 10,100. And then the Versus 1000, the only adventure touring with a inline 4, 1043 cc's, 33-inch seat height, 567 pounds, 5.5 gallon tank, starting at 18,900. Kind of pricey. 75 foot-pounds of torque on that one. And then we're going to have a retro bike. We're just going to throw in the middle here. This is the W800. It is a parallel twin, 773cc, 31-inch seat height, 496 pounds, 4-gallon tank, starting at 10,000. It is a 5-speed with 46 foot-pounds of torque. Alright, so now we're going to go to the naked models, the naked bikes, the Z series. We have the Mini. We have a Mini Z. We have a Z125, which is a single-cylinder 125cc, 31.7-inch seat height, 225 pounds, 2-gallon tank, 7 foot-pounds of torque, woohoo, starting at 3,400. And then we move off of that to the Super Nakeds. We have a Z400, parallel twin, 400cc, 31-inch seat height, 364 pounds, 3.7 gallon tank, starting at 5,400 with 28 foot-pounds of torque. The Super Naked Z650, parallel twin, 650cc, 31-inch seat height, 410 pounds, 4-gallon tank, starting at 7,750, 48.5 foot-pounds of torque on that one. And the Super Naked Z900. Now we move up to the inline 4 engine, 948cc, 31.5-inch seat height, 468 pounds, 4.5 gallon tank, starting at 9,400. There's an SE version for 10,900. I don't really know the difference. They have about 73 foot-pounds of torque. And we have two retro sport bikes. So kind of a sport naked bike, but retro styling. We have the Retro Sport Z650 RS, parallel twin, 650cc, 31.5-inch seat height, 412 pounds, 4-gallon tank, starting at 9,100 with 48 foot-pounds of torque. And the upgraded Retro Sport Z900 RS, inline 4, 948cc, 33-inch seat height, 475 pounds, 4.5 gallon tank, 72 foot-pounds of torque, starting at basically 11,950. And the last of the naked bikes, we have a Hyper Naked. Alright, Hyper Naked, the ZH2, which has an inline 4 supercharged 998cc, 33-inch seat height, 530 pounds, 5-gallon tank, 101 foot-pounds of torque on this puppy, starting at 18,500. Okay, that is the naked bikes. So now we move to the sport bikes. The Ninja series. All of them 6-speed as far as I can see. We start with the regular sport bikes, Ninja 400 and 400 KRT. Parallel twins, 400cc, 31-inch seat height, 365 pounds, 3.7 gallon tank, starting at 5,300. The KRT has a traction control software or something built in, as far as I can tell, and it's green. I think those are the only big differences. When you hear the KRT, I think that's about it. Alright, we have the Ninja 650. Parallel twin, 650cc, 31-inch seat height, 420 pounds, 4-gallon tank, starting at 8,000. We now have the, again, that was 650 and 650 KRT. We now have the Ninja 1000. Inline 4 cylinder, 1043cc, 32.5-inch seat height, 515 pounds, 5-gallon tank, starting at $13,200. We move on to the super sport bikes. We now have a Ninja ZX6R. For the super sports, the ZX is the model. 6R gives us an inline 4, 636cc, 32.7-inch seat height, 430 pounds, 4.5-gallon tank, starting at $10,700. The ZX10R, 10R KRT, and 10R RR. Why do these people put all these R's on the end of these models? Anyway, inline 4, 998cc on all three of those, 33-inch seat height, about 450 pounds, 4.5-gallon tank, starting at $17,400. And again, I know the KRT has traction control and is green, and the RR, I'm guessing, has some additional stuff on it, probably mostly just dealing in like software options or riding modes or something like that. Alright, Ninja ZX14R, inline 4, 1441cc, 31.5-inch seat height, 593 pounds. That's heavier than my Cruiser. 5.8 gallon tank, starting at $16,600. All of these do not have any torque listed on them. That's why I didn't mention it. Okay, so now we move to the Hypersports. Still Ninjas, but crazy expensive ones. Alright, so the Ninja H2. By the way, the H2SX version of the Hypersport is another one that has been discontinued for 2023. So the regular Ninja H2 is an inline 4 supercharged 998cc, 32.5-inch seat height, 525 pounds, 4.5-gallon tank, starting at $31,500. This has a carbon option, starting at $35,000. 105 foot-pounds of torque on this one. So these are more of the professional racing bikes, I believe, based on the pricing and the fact that they're Hypersports. And then the one that is actually a racing bike only, as in it is not street legal, is the Hypersport Ninja H2R. Again, a supercharged 998cc, but about the same seat height, but is about 50 pounds lighter at 476, and still a 4.5 gallon tank. This sucker starts at $57,500 and has 121 foot-pounds of torque on it. I guess that's for basically professional riders only. That takes care of the sport bikes. And now, moving on to last but definitely not least, at least in my opinion, the cruisers. Alright. Kawasaki doesn't have much in the way of the cruisers. They do have some out there to try to compete with everybody else, but definitely you can tell by the number of models that their sports and off-roads and all that kind of stuff are kind of their bread and butter, it certainly seems like. We start with the Vulcan S, which is our sport cruiser, kind of the low end of the guys. Parallel twin, 650cc, 28-inch seat height, 495 pounds, 3.7 gallon tank, 46 foot-pounds of torque. Features an ErgoFit system that allows you to adjust your seat handlebars and your pegs, foot pegs, to some degree to allow you to adjust it to the best fit. I think some of the other bikes I've listed have that as well. I didn't specifically look to see which ones. I remember seeing it as I was looking down through the website. Alright, and the regular Vulcan S starts at $73.50, not a bad price for a little cruiser. And then the Vulcan S Cafe, which of course has a little cafe windscreen on it, starting at $8,100. And I think the Cafe has a nicer paint job as well. Alright, moving up to the Vulcan 900, which is basically the big brother to my Vulcan 800 that I had, which was discontinued in the mid-2000s. This is a 5-speed, a 900cc V-twin, 27-inch seat height, 5.3 gallon tank, 58 foot-pounds of torque. 3 different versions of the Vulcan 900. We have the Classic, which is 620 pounds, starting at 9,000. And all of them have the 5-speed 900cc V-twin, whatever seat height that I gave above. So the Classic is starting at 9,000, has spoked wheels, white wall tires for that vintage look. Looks pretty cool in my opinion. The Custom has the alloy wheels, but and weighs a little bit less at 610 pounds. And then we have the Classic LT, which is the Classic Touring version, which is 657 pounds because it has saddlebags and a windshield, starting at $10,000. Has spoked wheels again, but doesn't have the white walls. It also has a rear back support for a 2-up passenger. So again, those are the 3 different models of the Vulcan 900. My personal opinion, for the size and weight of these bikes, there should be at a minimum of 6th gear, especially when you're on the touring model. With 657 pounds, my Vulcan 800, which was only 100cc less, was 550 pounds, or 540 I think. My Indian Scout is 560 pounds and has more power than these guys in a 6th gear. I think these things are a little bit heavy and a little bit underpowered for their size, and if they were going to be that big and heavy, I really think they should have put a 6th gear on it. But maybe that's how they were able to keep the price so competitive, is by keeping that lower, only 5-gear transmission on it. Don't know, but that's just my personal opinion. I do have a friend who has one of these, and he really likes it, so hey, they're decent bikes. Alright, last but not least, we have the Vulcan 1700. 2 different models of this. This is their big touring bike. So the Vaquero, which is a 1700 V-twin. Well, they're both 1700 V-twins. 29-inch seat height. Both have 5.3 gallon tank, and the engine has 107 foot-pounds of torque. The Vaquero is about 845 pounds and starts at 18,600. And then the Voyager, 895 pounds, so you've got about 50 pounds on that, I'm guessing because of the tour pack. And that one starts at 19,300, only a $700 difference between the two. Not bad for a full tour bike with a tour pack, less than 20,000. That's really a good price. As far as power goes, I don't know how, I haven't experienced one of these, but 107.5 foot-pounds of torque with a 1700cc engine should be totally fine with the full-size dresser like the Voyager. Alright, so that is it for the rundown of the Kawasaki models. My personal, as far as what I would like to try, I would kind of like to try the Vulcan S. I don't want to own one. I'd just like to try one, as far as that goes. And maybe the Versus 650 or something like that. But the challenge I have with it, with a lot of these bikes, is their seat height. 32, 33-inch seat heights. I have a 29-inch inseam, and so while I know it's possible to ride these guys, I just don't have much desire to deal with the inconvenience of having to slide halfway off the bike in order to get my foot on the ground, or be more than just on very tippy toes or something like that. So not a whole lot in the Kawasaki lineup that I personally want to try, other than trying the different cruisers that they have. Would be interesting to try the retro, like the W800, which only has a 31-inch seat height. That's not bad as far as that goes, but not a huge amount of stuff on their lineup that I really want to try out. But hey, let me know in the comments what you think, what you'd like to try. And there you have it. That's number 3 in our list of 2023 lineups. We've done the Indian and the Honda and now the Kawasaki. We're going to keep on going. So, don't forget to subscribe and like, and keep on watching. I appreciate your support.